It can be hard balancing taking care of kids, senior loved ones, and yourself. Remember, it's okay to ask for help. There's a reason 29 million families have turned to Care.com. Find background-checked sitters, nannies, and senior caregivers who can help with everything from watching kids after school to senior meal prep. Whether you need full-time, part-time, or even occasional help, you can view rates and book highly rated caregivers that fit your budget and schedule. Get the help you need with Care.com.
On today's Smart 7, Starmer warns things will only get worse. Oasis mania sweeps the country and lots more. It's Wednesday, 28th of August. It's National Bow Tie Day. And happy birthday, Jack Black.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
Prime Minister Keir Starmer made his highly anticipated speech on the economy on Tuesday, and in a grim twist on the traditional Labour anthem, he was warning things can only get worse. The new government continues to struggle with the level of debt left by Rishi Sunak's Tories, and Starmer says that 14 years of Tory governments has left the UK in poor shape. The theme of his speech was Fix the Foundations, and he says that the recent riots are a reflection of the chaos and disorder that needs to be fixed.
That's what we've inherited. Not just an economic black hole, a societal black hole. And that's why we have to take action and do things differently. Things will get worse before they get better.
The Tories were quick to claim that Labour has always planned to raise taxes and hinted that Starmer is deliberately playing up the scale of the issue, much like George Osborne and David Cameron did in 2010. Former Labour Minister Jonathan Ashworth disagreed, pointing out the Office of Budgetary Responsibility has launched a formal inquiry into the public finances.
This is a serious and honest speech from Keir Starmer. He wants to level with the British public about the state of the country the Labour government have inherited, and saying to the public he's going to take the tough decisions to fix them, and when you fix the finances, you can start rebuilding this country for the better.
Russia has continued to escalate the ferocity of its attacks on Ukraine this week, with hundreds of missiles and drones targeting Ukrainian energy sites. It seems as though it's partly in response to Ukraine's ongoing incursion into the Kursk region of Russia, where they claim to have captured over 600 Russian soldiers and now hold over 100 settlements. Russia, however, continues its push in Donetsk, grinding closer and closer to key Ukrainian cities. Meanwhile, Ukraine continues to use its long-range capabilities to strike targets within Russia, and President Zelensky had news on a major new development that will alarm Vladimir Putin.
There was a positive test of the first Ukrainian ballistic missile. I congratulate our military and defense industry on this. I can't share any more details about this missile, but nevertheless, this is an achievement.
Ukraine continues to push its Western allies to allow more use of long-range weapons, but Matthew Saville, who is the Director of Military Sciences at the Royal United Services Institute, thinks that Ukraine's own drone program is pretty impressive.
Whilst those Western-supplied weapons would be useful against the kind of things that are launching glide bombs, the drone program is a better bet for striking these, longer-range bomber bases.
An Israeli delegation is due to travel to Doha on Wednesday to continue ceasefire talks with US, Qatari and Egyptian officials. There was good news as another hostage was recovered alive in what the IDF called a complex operation that saw Qaid Farhan al-Qadi freed from a tunnel in the southern Gaza Strip. He's only the 8th hostage to be rescued since October 7th, and Israeli sources believe there are still 108 hostages somewhere within Gaza, although it's not known how many may be dead. Israeli government spokesman David Mencer announced details of the rescue and says Israel remains focused.
Our mission is very, very clear. We want to get all of our hostages home. We want to make sure that Hamas is destroyed. And of course, we don't want to be here in another 18 months' time.
999 is a number every child knows in the event of an emergency requiring police, fire or ambulance, but now there's a new number which offers urgent support. The NHS has launched a new 111 hotline intended to offer urgent mental health support in a move designed to prioritise people who are in a crisis. It comes as more and more people are being treated for depression and anxiety in the wake of the pandemic, and with an estimated 2 million people on NHS mental health waiting lists, the problem needs to be urgently addressed. The service is available to all and will put you through to a trained mental health professional. Dr. Sarah Hughes, Chief Executive of mental health charity Mind, says it's a good step, but that the NHS remains overwhelmed.
We can't meet demand. And so this service isn't going to resolve all of those problems, but it will get people to somebody who can listen. It might be able to speed up access to support.
Still to come on the Smart 7, Carabao Cup action with Everton and Keanu Reeves turns into a hedgehog right after this.
To get people excited about Boost Mobile's new nationwide 5G network, we're offering unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 a month.
Forever.
Even if you have a baby.
Even if your baby has a baby.
Even if you grow old and wrinkly and you start repeating yourself.
Even if you start repeating yourself.
Even if you're on your deathbed and you need to make one last call.
Or text.
Right, or text. The long-lost son you abandoned at birth.
You'll still get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month with Boost Mobile.
Forever!
After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
Forever.
Welcome back. Tuesday night kicked off this week's second round of the Carabao Cup. There were 18 games, including 5 involving Premier League teams, but not many shocks, as Brighton beat Crawley, Leicester thumped Tranmere, Birmingham lost to Fulham, and Crystal Palace beat Norwich 4-0. The game that everyone was watching, though, was Everton versus Doncaster, which had all the makings of a disaster for Sean Dyche, whose men haven't picked up a single point yet in the Premier League. In the event, it was a straightforward 3-0 win for Everton, but Dyche wasn't getting carried away.
Yeah, we'll see. It's just a win, in a game that everyone thinks we should win. But they're never easy, them games. Respect to Doncaster, they pushed us hard last season. This season's second half, I thought we made a better show of ourselves and played with a bit more freedom and looked effective and scored goals. That's the mixture we want, quite obviously.
Tuesday morning saw the whole world briefly go mad. That's because at 8 a.m, Oasis finally announced a reunion and a series of comeback gigs that fans have been waiting for since 2009. Birmingham City University estimates that the stadium gigs, which include Wembley, Heaton Park in Manchester and Croke Park in Dublin, could make £400 million. That means as long as they stay civil, Noel and Liam could pick up £50 million each, which is more than Oasis ever made in the 90s. John Robb runs the Louder Than War music website, and he says, cash aside, it's a significant cultural moment.
I think nostalgia is a big part of pop culture. And I think because they're such a generational defining band, a lot of people I was speaking to were a little younger than me. It's a big moment. This is a moment in their lives when everything felt possible.
If I told you there's a new movie on the way which stars Jim Carrey, Idris Elba and Keanu Reeves, I assume you'd be picturing Matrix levels of cool. Well, in this case, Keanu and Idris are playing hedgehogs, and Jim Carrey plays the villainous Dr. Robotnik, so not quite. Yes, it's Sonic 3, the third movie based on the video game, starring the world's fastest little blue hedgehog. It's definitely one for the kids, and yes, Keanu Reeves does that voice as he plays evil hedgehog Shadow. It hits cinemas just in time for Christmas.
There's been a high-level security breach, and we need Team Sonic's immediate assistance. Project Shadow is far beyond anything we've ever encountered.
Shadow's story began a lot like yours, Sonic. But where you found family and friends, Shadow found only pain and loss.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes, and we'll give you the world.
To get people excited about Boost Mobile's new nationwide 5G network, we're offering unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 a month.
Forever.
Even if you have a baby.
Even if your baby has a baby.
Even if you grow old and wrinkly and you start repeating yourself.
Even if you start repeating yourself.
Even if you're on your deathbed and you need to make one last call.
Or text.
Right, or text. The long-lost son you abandoned at birth.
You'll still get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month with Boost Mobile.
Forever!
After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
Forever.